Salutations. This is your girl, Outspoken Diva, and let's have a talk about it, shall we? What are we talking about today? Let's just go on. Let me pose you guys a question. Should soul food restaurants bear responsibility in educating our, as in the black community's, food culture? Okay, that's what we're talking. That's what we're gonna. This is the talk about it for today. Well, for this post. Because y'all may not watch it today, so y'all might watch it another day. Anywho, so get to Threads. Threads is the Twitter version that is connected to the meta version, but mostly it's connected to Instagram. Okay, so I was, I keep it on the For You because I know the people that I follow are the same people that I follow on Instagram, so I know what's going to be talked about. But the For You, it's like catered, the algorithm, big good old Al, right? So I saw this, and this guy asked a question, and somebody was educating this person. The guy was pretty much wondering why didn't Jollof, why didn't Jollof rice, no, Nigerian rice, here's a picture of it right here. Um, why didn't it come over, something come over to the United States, And of course he was getting I mean, it went people were educating him left and right because there's red rice from the Gullah Islands. No, from the Gullah culture. What's that? South Carolina. And then there's jambalaya that comes from New Orleans, Cajun cooking, Louisiana. That because he felt like because we eat everything over white rice all the time, and I was like, so once I went through everything, and of course I was like, those of you who don't know, I work in the food and nutrition area, so I know some things. I be trying not to be a know-it-all, but food know-it-all, boy, it be striking up. That's why we have this post now. But anywho, all of a sudden I was just like, I mean, it went left, and then most people were telling him he needs to watch High on the Hog, um, that is on Netflix, because he would have known that. Okay, he would have at least known about the red rice. Um, and then when I was like, because this was like by the time I saw it, it was like 23 hours old, so it was almost a day old. So I was like, boy, this went left. But in watching, um, also with How on the Hog, there's some shows, Soul Food Junkies and Cooking Jeans on PBS, because PBS, there's a lot of good stuff watched once you pass the age of Sesame Street. Okay, adults, y'all need to watch PBS. And then also on Hulu, there is In Search of Soul Food. No, Searching for Soul Food. That's what it's called. Not on PBS, on Hulu. So I was like, well, then I started, I decided to make my own post. And I pretty much said, I'm gonna post everything that I said on here. But I was pretty much saying that, because, someone not knowing that the Black American equivalent of jollof rice is no red rice or jambalaya, um, is why I side eye soul food restaurants and Black History Month menus at like jobs and churches and schools and places up like that in February, because we are more than just what we talking about: fried chicken, smothered pork, uh, grits, shrimp and grits, chicken and waffles, greens, mac and cheese, sweet potato, candied sweet potatoes, cornbread. It's more than that, right? And I'm like, and see, this why why I still have a job, So, so and it. I went to church because this is still Sunday. I'm recording this on Sunday. This all happened. Like I got up way too early, so I decided to go to church, and when I come back, everything, like people were engaging with that. I was like, oh shoot, wait a minute, hold on. And anyone who was under there talking about, but we're not African, yeah, they got blocked. But after that, had some, people were talking and stuff. And I was like, you know what? Let's head on over here to YouTube so I can talk about it. So, yeah, do soul food restaurants bear responsibility in educating about our food culture? Because we are more than just those things. Cause let's go to let's take you out of Louisiana and out of South Carolina. How many times have you ever seen a red rice or a jambalaya, or not even just those? When you seen an okra stew on the menu? Why does that young man think that everything is on white rice? Now, let me back up. Anyone who knows me by my biological name, before y'all get in the comments talking about, but you don't. No, I don't. I do not eat at soul food places often. The last time I've eaten from a soul food place was 2023, and that's because I wanted some chicken and dressing. It was around my grandmother's time. My grandmother loved chicken and dressing, and that was the end of August. I'm not eating that. I'm not eating. I'm not cooking that. I'm not frying up that oven for, yeah. Not that kind. Not This is Dallas, Texas. It's hot. Okay. Um, but so I knew where to go get it. This is a place called Hardeman's. Hardeman's is a barbecue place actually, but they have soul food items. And I like them, and they cook them to my taste. I don't eat a lot. That is why I don't eat out a lot, and I don't eat at soul food places because I don't eat a lot of salt. Okay, that's not the wisest thing for me or my family. And but when I do eat it, yeah, it's delicious and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, and then a lot of times they make greens with with pork and stuff like that. I can't tell them that they should use they should cook it like I cook it. I mean, I do eat soul food at home, but I cook it with sometimes a smoked turkey. Sometimes I don't even use meat at all. You have the smoked paprikas and the smoked peppers and stuff like that. So we just talk about green stuff, but there's a lot of stuff I know how to cook on my own. That's why I don't eat at soul food restaurants all the time. So yeah, but yes, I do wonder. One of the reasons why I do side eye them is because the everything just looks like this. It's always this same menu. And, sometimes, I think that it would be a more creative idea sometimes to step away from just this pigeonholed menu and branch out. You know, okay, right now, Lent is upon us. During the Lenten season, when you have you're gonna have fish Fridays. Have a grilled fish. Because we don't just eat fried fish. With the fry, have that offering maybe. Also with that, pair that up with your okra stew, or have a little gumbo with a little shrimp in it, or a little baked catfish sprinkled in, or have a little jambalaya, those type of things. Okay, just you know, or yeah, have the a catfish with what's that stuff with the red rice, or any other offerings. New Year's, you're gonna have chitlins. Y'all gonna be like, yeah, we have chitlins today. But have a little hoppin' john. Put a little hoppin' john. Or if y'all don't know what hoppin' john is, that's black eyed peas with the greens and tomatoes with the rice. Have that together. Be a little creative sometimes. That's just me with the menu. And that is why I'm like, so people can let's widen the scope of soul food. That's my I'm not saying y'all need to there's a restaurant, a barbecue restaurant, black owned, in Dallas. In February they have the boxed lunches, and they have all these, facts and stuff, black facts and stuff. I'm not saying you need to do that. I mean, thank you, Smokey John's, for doing that. But none of these places I'm calling are paid. They're not paying me to talk about them. So if y'all go to these places, don't be like, "I was spoken diva send us," because I'm not gonna get no cutback from none of them people. Those people do not know me. Um, they just know my money, but they don't know me like that. They don't know me. Anyways, I'm not saying that, but educate with the by the palate. Educate the palate with the menu. Sometimes just switch it up a little bit if you can. If you can economically can. I understand that also. So yeah, that's just something to think about. And before y'all get in here, you're not asking of this from the home style or the white or the southern. I would if but the ones that I mean, there's a place, Norma's. They don't just have this set menu. They have specials. They have a chicken tenders in there on Friday, and I just was there recently. And for the Lenten meal, they had some great. I was like, oh, y'all gonna have grilled shrimp? I'm gonna have grilled shrimp. I don't have to have just fried catfish. Y'all be talking about people love Cracker Barrel. I've only had Cracker Barrel one time, but Thanksgiving, they know how to somehow or another they fry up a turkey breast, chicken fried turkey breast, it's battered up. So, you can't say that, I'm not saying that to them. I mean, if I saw that they had a standard meal, standard menu for Southern food, I'd be like, y'all need to switch that up too, So, any place that, of that, though, that cuisine, if they're just standing, ask of them, y'all need to ask of them to, expand, widen the scope of Southern food. But right now I'm talking to soul food because this came up. Widen the scope of soul food, widen your menu up some. You know, sure what else in the other regions, That's all. That's all, Like I said, I do think that soul food restaurants do bear that. And then that's how, um people who don't look like us who want to make the Black History Month menus for the cafeteria or the potluck and stuff. That's how they'll find out that it's more than just y'all go order up some catfish and some open up some cans of greens and green beans and corn and make some Jiffy cornbread or just buy store bought cornbread, that kind of stuff, because and then have red Kool Aid, if we widen the scope, they're educated also. I'm just saying. But yeah, what do y'all think? Let me know down below in the comment section of this video or on the social media site that you see this on. It's on Facebook. You leave your comments down below on this video. Or you can always shoot me an email at the email address that's provided in the description box, okay? Yeah, like I said, let's just widen the scope of soul food, okay? And other than that, talking to you in adult terms.